Hey guys, welcome to the HVAC Diaries. Today is Friday, May 5th. May the 5th be with you. No, that's not how it goes. I'm a whole day late for that. Did you guys have a good week? I did. Look what came in the mail. My beautiful sweaters, I've got two. I got a black one like this and a heather gray one, which I'm so excited to wear. They turned out so nice. I love them. We had a pretty industrial HVAC heavy week this week. We looked at a couple of air dryers and some electrical closet ACs, and we did a few service calls. So why don't I tell you all about those? Actually, I'll leave the service calls to the end of the vlog. First, I'll tell you about one of the air dryers we looked at this week. Actually, it was the first job on a Monday morning. Filthy dirty. We looked at an air dryer at a bag packaging company. So we do work for a packaging company that does basically like boxes and labels and stuff like that. So this one was a new one for us, and they make bags. So I don't know, think of pet food bags, and when you buy food in bags, they make bags. I don't know how else to say it. So they had an air dryer that was giving them trouble. And what we found on that was a refrigerant leak on the hot gas bypass valve, like assembly type thing. So we took care of that. So we took care of that leak, and once we vacuumed the system, did another leak test, filled it up and everything, not in that order, then we kind of watched its operation. Fan is not cycling. That fan is running continuously, and so it's not building up enough pressure. So we replaced the fan cycling switch as well. There's so much large equipment in that room. I just took a little bit of a video of all of the massive equipment. They've got huge compressors and like water holding tanks. And what I love about working in these industrial places sometimes is that it's so loud in there. The equipment and machinery is just so loud. Everyone's got their ears blocked either with little foamies or their ear muffs. And you can sing at the top of your lungs, really badly if you do, but you can sing so loud and no one can hear you. And it feels really good in your body because you're like belting it out and Anyway, I was singing on that day. No one had any idea. The other air dryer we looked at was at a collision place. Actually a really large one, a pretty fancy one. Although I was kind of annoyed because I had to use the bathroom. Such a big, modern, clean facility. I would imagine there's women working there, like on the tools, like as mechanics, I would imagine. So when I asked to use the bathroom, they were like, oh yeah, just follow the signs for the washroom, go up this. Anyway, so I followed the signs for the washroom and the lunchroom, and when I get there, there's one bathroom, but it's a men's bathroom. So there was a guy kind of wandering around, and I said to him, like, is there a women's washroom around here? And he was like, oh, you know, you're gonna have to walk like 10 minutes to the administration office. And I was like, no one's around. Do you mind if I just go into the men's? So I did. So for that air dryer, we are actually contracted out by the air dryer company. They've got their own set of technicians and they do their own troubleshooting, their own diagnosing. They buy and order the parts that we need, and then they get us involved if they have to open the refrigeration system, which in this case they did. They told us that they had to replace a condenser. So we've recovered all the refrigerant. Now I'm gonna take this fan off. And we just have one weld and two welds. And then we've got a couple of rivets to get through here. I guess you can't really see that. I got a light. These little pop rivets. And then this whole thing comes out and is replaced with that. So once we did all that, we vacuumed the system, we filled her up with new refrigerant, leak tested it, we fired the unit up, and the condenser fan motor isn't working. So it's kind of like, did your tech diagnose the problem correctly? Did they order the correct part? Because if it was the fan motor that was faulty, there's really no point for us to open up the refrigeration system and change the condenser. It kind of makes me wonder if we've replaced the right part because someone else diagnosed this. But anyway, we did it and it was a fine job. It was a good job for me to be part of. We also worked at a cardboard factory. That's where we checked out two little electrical closet air conditioners. So basically throughout the floor, they've got these electrical cabinets, and they're pretty big and they generate a lot of heat. So they've got this little air conditioner unit attached to the thing, so it keeps that cabinet cold. And periodically these things just stop working. So sometimes we get to work in the plant, like in the factory where the electrical closet is, but sometimes they'll bring the units out to the maintenance sort of workshop, and then we get to work on them out in the open, and it's a lot easier to test them and to work on them. Those little units are super compact though, and there's no space to work. And even sometimes when you try to test the system, you have your gauge on and you want to keep everything closed, and there's no place to test it. So you gotta have to simulate it a little bit. But yeah, we got it done. We got to work at one of my favorite places, a sawmill that smells heavenly. I only got a couple of videos on the outside of the sawmill because I'm not really allowed to take any videos on the inside. Oh, you guys, I wish I could show you all the cool machinery and equipment they've got in there with the planks of wood just going through the process and various stages of, processing. It's very cool, but I'm not allowed to take any photos or videos in there. So they've got a very, very old R22 system there that we will be replacing in the next couple of weeks. You guys know that meat supplier I keep talking about, the one I keep complaining about, but I also in my last vlog said it's the gift that keeps on giving in my apprenticeship. Well, another gift for me. We went there and they've got these two island coolers. They're just in the middle of the supermarket. And they're just warm. So we checked everything out, and my dad drew me this nice little diagram. I'll show you right here. My dad does this little wiring diagram for me, this little drawing. So when there's power to the thermostat, that gives power to the solenoid valve. And what we have right now is there's no power to the solenoid valve, so we've bypassed the thermostat and now we do have power to the solenoid valve. So that is why we are replacing this thermostat that Trevor is holding. Such a simple drawing is so helpful to me. Temperature sensor, right? And sometimes those units that are like so low on the ground, they're just so awkward to try to find a comfortable position to work in, because a lot of the times you need both of your hands. So I don't know, just found it easy to lie on my shoulder and get it done. Haha. And obviously we have to access the electrical panel on the rooftop unit as well. And there is an HVAC unit right beside the condenser for this island cooler. So there's like a foot of space between the next unit, and you have to get your head and your shoulders in there so you can see what you're doing. But also you want to kind of stay away a little bit because it's an electrical cabinet. So like you got to get your face right in there, and it's like, this feels awkward and not safe, but I also got to do a little condenser coil cleaning this week with my little new Calgon turbo tank. And that condensing unit is for a walk-in freezer at like a little market. We had this call to a new customer. It's actually a gas station a ways away. We had to drive to get to it. And we arrived, and the walk-in cooler there has got no power at all. Like, there's no power to the condensing unit, we assume. There's no lights, no fans. The fans are even on a separate circuit. No fans, no thermostat, nothing. So we suggested that he calls an electrician. But while we're there, we might as well check out the condensing unit on the roof. So we asked the lady that works there how we access the roof. And she's like, oh, well, other contractors, they would go to the neighbor, climb up their roof, and then slide down the sloped roof onto our roof. And so my brother and I were like, that doesn't sound safe. We don't think we're gonna do that. But we'll go up there and kind of see this. We'll suss the situation out. So we go around the building and we look at this wall, and it's like a 32 to 35 foot wall, and our extension ladder is 24 feet. So we're like, our ladder's not gonna reach. And she's like, oh, that's okay. Other contractors that work here, they use the big ladder from next door at the car wash. I'll go and organize it. So we're like, okay, cool. So she comes back with an 8-foot A-frame ladder. And she's like, this? And we're like, no. Actually, it was really hard for me not to laugh in her face. But I'm like, what do you expect us to do with that? We've got one of those. We just use our own, but that's not going to help us. So she's like, okay, well, there's a bigger ladder around the corner. Let's see if you can use that. You guys, this is what she tried to make us use. The white wall is the one we have to go up. The blue ladder is her suggestion. Every time I watch that video back, I laugh out loud because I'm like, what? In the middle of the week, on Wednesday, we had our Women in HVAC R Canada AGM, our annual general meeting. You guys, I have to be honest, I stressed out about this AGM because I chair the meeting and I'm the president of the organization right now. So, I have never done it in AGM before. So I was stressing out. I had a few mental breakdowns. But Tuesday night, I prepared so much. Like, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. And it went so well. I really enjoyed doing the meeting. And we elected 2 new board members to the group. So I'm very thrilled about what's going to come in the next year or so. All right, boys and girls. Well, that's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the HVAC Diaries HVAC vlog. I've got a couple of announcements to make. So at the end of the month, I'm taking 2 weeks off. I am going on a much deserved vacation, like an actual real vacation. We're not flying to see family. We're not flying to do it. We're going to a beach for 2 weeks. So I'll be off for 2 weeks. And then when I'm back in June, I'm going to start publishing my vlogs on Sundays rather than on Saturdays because right now it's stressing me out and making me going a little bit crazy. And these vlogs are supposed to be just, entertainment and fun for me to do. And they're stressing me out to get them out on a Saturday morning. So when I get back in June, I'm going to start publishing them on a Sunday instead. But I will be back next week. So have a great week. I'll see you then. Bye.